For those of you just getting started in real estate photography, whether it's your first photography venture or if you're a wedding photographer or anything and you want to sort of get your own real estate photography setup, well, we're going to talk about your monitor and sort of display calibrations today for real estate photography. And this tends to be really important because, as we're going to get to later, you're going to see if your display is off just a few degrees toward blue or something like that, well, that means every single photo you ever deliver is going to be that little bit off, right? So this is a pretty important little step. So the first thing, there's two things we're going to have to talk about. And the first one is the monitor and the second is the calibrator. The first thing I'll say is if you're just getting started in this and you have a computer at home, your computer is probably good enough to operate Photoshop and do everything you need to do. But I would recommend upgrading your monitor because you probably bought a monitor. So I think it would be a really common scenario, in other words, to keep your computer system, at least while you're getting up and running. You might want to get something a little beefier later, but to just get what I'm going to go through today, a new monitor for the current system you have and a calibrator, and that way you know your photos are going to be coming out properly calibrated and everything. This is going to be pretty easy on the monitor. I'm not going to give you 10 choices because I'm going to go with what I use. And this guy's been great for me, and look at the price here. So I think I just looked at my receipt when I bought this guy and he was about $210. So it's come down in price, and they also have a 27-inch version. And it's only $10 more, so I would probably go for this if I was to buy it right now. But just so you know, if you're looking for these monitors, you're definitely gonna want to go with something that I would say the top things to be looking for are this IPS, but a lot of monitors are going to have that. And I would just say something that's getting good reviews generally from photographers. Now, one of the things you may hear as far as people who do know what they're talking about in classes and giving recommendations is it's a very good point. They're telling you the monitor is really the only sort of thing between you and your print, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, the monitor is a really important thing for a photographer because that's all we have. I mean, that's the only thing we're seeing in terms of our photo going from our clients to, from us to our clients, or from the computer to a print. So I do think that's a good argument. I remember I've played with this thought in my head, and so what they're saying is you want to go for a really, really high quality monitor, like spend thousands of dollars on it, like $2,000 or $3,000. But here's the thing. I mean, I've thought about this in the past, and I really, truly don't believe my photography has suffered in any way. I will call this a cheap monitor, but I don't think, once again, my photography has suffered in any way whatsoever. I think a nice, really nice monitor makes more sense. If you're like having clients come in and look at photos and you're printing out stuff and something like that, I don't think anything at all has happened negatively or impacted my business one bit. The fact that I use this pretty cheap monitor because I think it's pretty good and there's just absolutely no problems with it. Okay, so that's something you may hear, and I'm just sort of, giving you my opinion. You have my permission to go cheap on this because I really feel like, even though it is sort of the link, the only thing standing between you and your photos going out there, your monitor is, there's a really good technology nowadays where they're able to make these really nice IPS panels and make them very cheaply. Here is the calibrator I have currently, and I've been using this for years. It's been great for me, but the thing is they're sort of updating all this stuff and everything. The only problem I've had with this is this little patch right here. It got a little, I don't know if it attracts moisture or something, and this little patch sort of attracts this sort of stickiness, which that was the only thing I had go wrong with this thing, but it's still working for me today, no problems. But we're not going to confuse you with that too much because that's the one I have right now currently working. We're sort of getting updated, and I would go ahead and let me find the right one that I recommended. It's right here. So I would recommend this one for you guys currently working today. If you're going to go ahead and go out there and buy something right now, this is the guy I like. It's going to do absolutely everything you need for real estate photography. And the way I sort of look at this is that it's sort of like buying TVs nowadays to me, which the way I see TVs, you have all these smart TVs. The smart TV is like a big feature, right? But the thing is, with a smart TV, you can go ahead and get a really nice box afterwards, like those, whatever, Roku, whatever one you like. And that totally overpowers any of the smart feature and apps on your TV, right? So the combination between having a TV that's not smart and then plugging in one of those boxes is like amazing. And the same thing goes with a calibrator. So if you get a very good monitor, or a good monitor and then a good calibrator, you're going to have a great system, right? You're going to be color calibrated. Everything's going to be really excellent. Okay, excellent. Everything you need. So that's sort of how I see that. As long as you get calibrated and you get a good IPS monitor, that I feel like maybe you can get a Dell. The ones that photographers are recommending, or the one I showed you I really like and have had success with over the years. It's a great system once it gets in tuned and you're just really tuned in and has all those accurate colors and everything. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But if you just bought the monitor on itself, that might be a problem, right? You'd need that calibration, because as you can see here, you're going from, this is my last calibration, you're going from my uncalibrated screen to my calibrated screen, and you can see there's quite a bit of blue in there, at least to my eye, and it might not translate as well, getting all compressed over to the video. And the one last tip we'll go through is something I use all the time when I get a little bit more more accurate color work, when I want to really be sure for like a higher end client. Well, most of you out there have iPads, and iPads are like really on the ball. And as far as I remember, I calibrated my iPad with the Spider 4 Pro software. I mean, I was just able to download to my iPad. I've only done it one time, and the calibration didn't change it that much, so I haven't done it since then. But like I'm saying, you can check your photos on these new iPads, have very, very accurate displays. Okay, so go ahead and upload the photo that you might be having a little bit of worry about, if you ever do, and check it on your iPad, and that should just really assure you, especially when you're seeing consistent whites and stuff between your monitor and your iPad, that should really be a good sort of corroboration. And I don't think you'll have any problem with that system right there of sort of checking things on your iPad. And that's also a good way to sort of check things the way they're going to look for your clients, because most clients are looking at stuff on their phones, looking at stuff on their iPads and little devices like this, right? Okay, so I hope those little tips helped you out. That's the extent of my color calibration and correction and monitor and display system, and it works great for me, and it's very, very on the cheap, I would say, but I personally feel there's absolutely no drawbacks whatsoever. So thanks for listening, guys, and I will see you next time.